Okay, so we have some equations to solve in this first video. Kind of going through the steps from the intro. First, we want to simplify anything that we can simplify. What you look for is look at each side of the equal sign separately. So the 6x has nothing to simplify with over here. The negative 12 and the 3x have nothing that can be simplified on the right side. So then you move on to adding or subtracting to get the like terms together. One thing you don't want to do, if I were to take this 6x and get it to the other side, I would be leaving this side of the equal sign empty. Don't do that. I see most students completely mess that up and end up with a wrong answer. So if you just keep in mind, I can't empty out one side of the equation, you'll be good. So we are going to get the x's together, but let's get the 3x to the other side. Because it's positive, we can go ahead and subtract. We don't need it that thick, do we? Subtract the 3x. 6x minus 3x is 3x equals negative 12. And now the last step is to get that variable alone. You multiply or divide. Because it's multiplying, we'll divide to get it by itself. You guys remember this from algebra. So x equals a negative 4. Alright, next example. Now, there's a few ways to go about solving this. First, simplifying, there's no distributing to do, no combining like terms on each side of the equal sign. What's going to cause some issues are the fact that there is a fraction right here. You may have learned in algebra, if you had me for algebra, then you saw this trick. I personally like to get rid of the fraction pretty quickly in the equation so that I don't even have to deal with it. So you can do a fraction trick. Fraction trick, you throw parentheses around the whole thing, and whatever your denominator is, you're going to multiply every single term by that denominator. So 3 times 18 is 54. Now, one thing I want to point out on this next one, see how it's minus a 2/3 m? What you want to do, if you have a subtraction in front of a fraction, think of that negative going with the top number. So it's a negative 2/3. Now, if you haven't seen the fraction trick before, just off on the side, I'm going to show you how that works. We have basically 3 times, because now we're going to distribute and multiply the 3 times the fraction. So 3 times negative 2/3, but it's 3/1, okay? So what's going to happen is you're going to do some cross-reducing. 3 goes into 3 once, and then you multiply 1 times negative 2. And you get a negative 2. And what we just did is we got rid of the fraction. It's pretty slick. Bring down our equal sign. Don't forget, you do have to multiply through the entire equation. So 3 times 12 is 36. And now we're ready to continue solving. We're going to add or subtract to get terms together on the same side. Again, don't move the 36. You don't want to empty out that side. So let's get the 54 to the other side. The 54 is positive, so we're going to subtract 54 from both sides. Be very careful of signs. This is a negative 2m that we're going to bring down. So negative 2m is equal to negative 18. And then divide both sides by negative 2. So m is equal to negative divided by negative, positive 9. Alright, so far so good. Last one for this video. Doing any simplifying first, you can see the parentheses, so we want to take care of that distributing first thing. We're going to go ahead and distribute the 2. 2 times 3y is 6y. 2 times negative 4 is negative 8. And then equals 6y plus 3. Alright, so now we want to get our variables on the same side. We can do that with addition or subtraction. So I see a 6y. I'm going to go ahead and subtract 6y from both sides. So it cancels here, and then sometimes you'll notice that it cancels here also. So if your variable cancels from both sides, what you're going to do is you're going to look to see what you have left. So carry down, you do have a negative 8. carry down your equal sign, and you have a 3. So the question is, does negative 8 equal 3? And we know that negative 8 does not equal 3. So this is a no solution example. In algebra, we would always write no solution. You also could use that symbol that we learned. You also could do that symbol that we learned. So they all kind of mean the same thing, saying that this equation has no solution.